What is up, everybody? I am the crazy short hairy dude, and today we are talking about Memorial Day. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of it and why it's so important that we celebrate Memorial Day. So, the early roots began in 1865 in Charleston, South Carolina. So, one of the earliest documented tributes occurred. Well, first of all, Memorial Day is observed on the last Monday in May, and it's a very solemn U.S. federal holiday dedicated to honoring military personnel who died while serving in the armed forces. So originally it was known as Decoration Day, uh, and it emerged out of the Civil War as communities decorated fallen soldiers' graves with flowers and flags. Um, Now, the earliest roots, one of the earliest documented tributes occurred May 1st, 1865. Newly freed African Americans and U.S. Troops, specifically the African American units, honored Union um, soldiers who were buried in mass graves at a Confederate racetrack, reburying them properly and holding a massive parade in their honor. Now, in Waterloo, New York, in 1866, they hosted an annual community-wide event starting on May 5th, uh, during which businesses closed and residents decorated graves of fallen soldiers. And this led Congress uh, and President Lyndon B. Johnson to declare Waterloo the official birthplace of Memorial Day, and that was in 1966. So, 100 years later, they declared that. Now, National Decoration Day, which kind of started in 1868, that was on May 5th as well, with General John A. Logan, the leader of the Grand Army of the Republic, as it was called. It was an organization of Union veterans, and it proclaimed May 30th, actually, as National Day to decorate the graves of fallen Civil War soldiers. And this date was likely chosen because spring flowers would be in full bloom, and that was part of the tradition. Um, So originally it was established to honor Union Civil War soldiers who died in battle, and the holiday's purpose was expanded after World War One, and it now honors American service members who have died in all wars, and that's um, Union, Confederate, honors all of them who died in wars that we have fought: World War One, World War Two, Spanish American War, um, the well, really any war that we have fought. Now, the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which kind of took place between 1968 and 71, um, so decoration was observed every May 30th. But to create a more, well, Congress kind of started doing the thing where they were trying to make 3-day weekends for federal holidays and for federal employees. So Congress passed the Union, or the Union, can't talk, the Uniform Monday Holiday Act in 1968. And yes, I'm reading this right now. So, which officially designated Memorial Day as the last Monday in May. And this change went into effect in 1971, which is also when it officially became a federal holiday. Um, so, some of the traditions with this holiday include the National Moment of Remembrance. So, established by Congress, all Americans were asked to pause for 1 minute at 3 p.m. local time on Memorial Day to reflect on the sacrifices of the fallen. Um, this is something that a lot of people still observe. It's not heavily enforced really anymore, unfortunately. Um, I think it's something we should do, though. Bring that back, on Memorial Day at 3 o'clock, whatever you're doing, unless you're driving, don't close your eyes, but take a moment, take a minute to turn the radio off, turn the TV off, uh, step outside or something, away from distractions, and just think, remember the sacrifices that our American troops have made to keep us safe, and pray for their families and their friends. Red poppies are another tradition that was inspired by the famous World War I poem In Flanders Field by John McCrae. And the paper red poppy became a recognized symbol of remembrance. The American Legion continues the tradition of distributing paper poppies to raise funds for disabled and hospitalized veterans. Uh, Official tributes, the president or vice president typically places a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington National Cemetery, and flags are flown at half staff until noon and then raised to the top of the staff. Um, some places leave the flag at half staff all day. That's fine too. But yeah, that is what Memorial Day is about. It's about honoring those who not only have served but paid the ultimate sacrifice to keep us safe and to secure our freedoms that we enjoy here in this country. Because freedom is never free. It always takes sacrifice. It always takes hard work, dedication, and the price of freedom is always high. It costs lives, um, lives to defend it, to establish it, and unfortunately, because that's just the way the world works. Uh, just how it works, unfortunately. And so, yeah, it's American soldiers have always been willing to pay that sacrifice so that we don't have to. So, if you know anybody who has served, be grateful for them. If you know anybody who has um, anybody who has lost a loved one who was in the military or a first responder or anything like that, um, think about them today. Pray for them today. And yeah, that's all I have for today. So I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's happy. We will be continuing on in our Dracula readings here in the next couple days. And we have another kind of exciting thing coming up. The new James Bond video game drops, comes out, whatever, this week. So we will, yeah, I'm going to do a video on James Bond and kind of the franchise, the history of the character, things like that. So, that's going to be fun. Until then, God bless. Jesus loves you. Happy Memorial Day. And I'll see you later.